Hi, this is Jennifer from Make My Heart Smile. Crochet along with me today, friends, to learn the star stitch, one of my favorite stitches. If you're a new viewer, welcome. Check out my other lessons and tutorials on my channel because if you're a returning subscriber, you know that this is just part of a series of crochet lessons that I've been teaching. So we have moved on to intermediate level stitches, and the star stitch is one of those. Instructions are in the description below along with timestamps. So gather your materials and let's get started. I'm using Hobby Lobby's beginner yarn, tube yarn in blue, and my 6mm hook and a stitch marker, of course. So let me show you the star stitch structure a little bit here in this little mug cozy that I have made. It's like for a travel mug. And so I love the star stitch. It's worked in a 2-row repeat in order to form the full star. So foundation row and then row 2 will be a little bit different than 3 and 4, similar but different. 3 and 4 then will be your repeat row for the rest. Basically, one row makes the half of the star, and then the next row makes the other half of the star. So it's a 2-row repeat, and so it is so pretty. I love the texture of it and the look of it. So let's get started with the star stitch. It is worked in rows, so we're going to make a slip knot, and your chains need to be in multiples of 2, or an even number, in other words, multiples of 2. So I'm going to chain 22. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Make sure your chain doesn't twist or anything. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Sorry for that recount, but as you know in crochet, and for this particular stitch, it is important that you have the correct number. Because this is a little bit more of a complicated intermediate level stitch, friends. So here we go. It's really all about loading up our hook with loops and then pulling through all of them. So in the second chain from the hook, we're going to start gathering up loops. So we're going to insert, pull up a loop, insert, pull up a loop, insert into the next chain, pull up a loop until we have 6 loops on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 6 of those. Remember, lift up your hook a little bit so you've got clearance. Make sure your stitches or your loops on the hooks aren't too tight, and so then you can glide through. And for the star stitch, I kind of curve it a little bit as I glide through, and then we're going to chain 1 to close it. That kind of forms the little rays or bars of the star. Now this forms an eye. Remember that, because we call that the eye. And now to form the next star stitch, we're going to kind of work down the side of it, the one we just made, into the next chains. So we're going to insert into the eye, pull up a loop, insert into this last sidebar right here, and pull up a loop. And then into this space right here, which is usually pretty large. It's the space that was just worked into. Pull up a loop. And then the next 2 chains, so right here and right here, we're going to insert and pull up a loop, insert and pull up a loop. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the hook, yarn over, pull through all of them, chain 1 to close. There's the second half of a star. Insert into the eye, pull up a loop, into the sidebar, right here, that last bar of the star, this space here, pull up a loop, and then the next 2 chains, here and here, yarning over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, so we've loaded our hook with 6. We're going to yarn over, pull through all 6. You want these to be fairly loose so that you can see the structure and to pull through all those loops. Pull up a loop, pull up a loop to the next 2 chains, yarn over, pull through all 6, close it with the chain 1. There's our next eye. Six on my hook. Pull through all 6, chain 1 to close. Insert, pull up, sidebar, space, next 2 chains. Yarn over, pull through all 6. We're making our half of our star stitches along this foundation row. Chain 1 to close. I'll go a little faster now. You just go at your own pace. I'll meet you at the end of this row. And I should see 1, 2 more chains left. Not my little slip stitch here. So into the eye, sidebar, space, next 2 chains. Pull through all 6 and close with a chain stitch. Cinch up your slip knot there a little bit. And that has made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 little half star stitches. And now we're going to do our row back, row 2. Starts with 1 more chain, turn. Now you see this eye here that we just formed on that last one right here? That's where we want to put 1 half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, and just make a regular half double crochet stitch there. 1 into that very, very first eye. And now you're going to be looking for your eyes. Here's an eye, here's an eye, right? All those eyes going back. That's where you're going to be putting 2 half double crochets. So yarn over, not in here anywhere, but right there in the eye. It looks like a circle. 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets. We are looking at the wrong side, technically, of this stitch right now. This is the right side. So basically, these 2 half double crochets are finishing the star formation. You'll see that more when we get through the row. Look for your next eye. Yarn over and put 2 half double crochets into that eye. over, look for your next eye. Look for your next eye, yarn over, put 2 half double crochets into that. I feel for it with my fingers. You'll feel the circle. Yarn over, put 2 half double crochets into the next eye, and repeat that going back across here. Let's see, 2 in here. And 2 right in here. As you can see, that's my last eye. And now, to finish this row, we're going to look for that chain space, the turning chain space. It's a little tricky to feel for, but this was our turning chain right here. So we're going to put 1 last half double crochet into that. And as you can see, that completes the star formation. If you look like this, it kind of looks like little shells, but it's called the star stitch, and I think it looks so cool. It makes such a pretty pattern and texture in your work. So now we're going to move on to row 3 and 4, which is the pattern repeat. So we're going to chain 3. And we're going to work down these 2 stitches here of the chain and then into the stitches here of the top of the row to make our first star, half of a star. So we're going to insert and pull up a loop, insert and pull up a loop down that chain, and then under both V's, or under the front and back loop of the top of the stitch. Not these side loops, but the top. So turn it a little bit. You're going to be inserting your hook right in there, going under both to pull up the loop, and again, and again. So really the first 3 stitches there to have 6 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all of those to form the first half of this star on the second section. Into the eye, pull up a loop, sidebar, pull up a loop, that space here that we worked into, and then under the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yarn over, pull through all 6 on the hook. And as you can see, this is forming another row of the stars. Into the eye, the side, that fairly large space that has been worked into, and then 2 more. Make sure you're not going underneath this. Now that looks like a V, but you've got to turn it so you see the top. Pull up a loop for those next 2. So that we have 6 on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 6. Eye, side, space, next 2 stitches. loading up the hook, yarning over, pulling through all of them, closing with the chain. And repeat this all the way down. Till we get to the end. And here we go. Looks like we've run out of room, but we're actually going to go into the eye, sidebar, space, and there's one more chain there, or one more stitch there. Go underneath that, pull up a loop, and then the chain space. It's a little tight, but you've got a little chain space there. Get your hook underneath there because we need that 6th loop on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pull through all 6 and finish. Okay, with the chain, and then chain 1 and into that. So 4th row now, because remember we've got to finish these stars. And so we're going to do a half double crochet into that first eye. It's on the end we just made. So half double crochet there, and then 2 half double crochets into each eye going back. So there's 1, 2, and they're spaced out, so just be looking for them and feeling for them with your left hand fingers. Two half double crochets in each eye or center of the star. Lost count. Okay, and then there's my last eye. 2 half double crochets into that one, but then we also need one more in that side space. You'll have to feel for that turning chain and get your hook up underneath there. Oop, yarn over first, of course, because it's one last half double crochet in the side turning chain there. Okay? All right, and then that completes the star. So that's a 2 row repeat. So you would then repeat row 3 and 4, however long or wide you'd want your project to be. So I really hope you enjoyed the star stitch, learning the star stitch. It's one of my favorites. In the comments below, let me know what you make with this stitch. I would love to know. If you really loved this tutorial, give it a like and subscribe to follow along for more, friends, because I'm going to be teaching some other intermediate level stitches and I'd love to be your teacher. Happy crocheting and see you next time.